Allow me to begin with a simple explanation of the class trial rules. During this class trial, you will argue with your evidence on who you think the culprit of Mario is. Ultimately, your decision will come to a vote. And then, well, if you vote for the correct culprit, then only they will receive punishment and the rest of you can live your lives here at Hope's Peak High. However, if you pick the wrong dreadful choice, I will punish everyone besides the black end, and only the black end will be able to leave. Got it? And also, all of you will be receiving punishment as well, except for the black end, because, well, they get to leave. So, any questions before we start our lovely trial? Yes. I actually have a very, very good question, Monokuma. What the hell is this? Oh, that? Well, that's where Mario would have been sitting if, he wasn't dead on the kitchen or anything. So I put a little memorial there, just so you can watch all of you try and figure out who his killer is. Isn't it fun? No, not really. It just sounds really fucked up. Well, that's unfortunate, because I don't care. It's gonna be there. Now then, I have a question, Monokuma, just for you in particular. Oh, great. What do you want, Saroba? How are we so sure that the culprit is actually in this room right now and you didn't just do it? Because if I did it, well, there would be no trial. Obviously, it was one of you lot, because I can't do any of those things. I'm the headmaster. That'd be going into my own rules. I'm a very big stickler of the rules, Now then, any other questions before we start? None? Perfect. And may this class trial commence. So, for starters, has anyone actually been to court before? Well, I mean, I have, but it's certainly nothing like this. It's not like a round table with all of us here and present. So then where do we start? We could choose a starting topic and go from there. If anyone has any ideas, I think I have one. Well, Tails, don't be shy. What is it? It'd probably be useful to figure out what killed Mario, actually. So, like, his murder weapon? Exactly, Zelda. Well, our first class trial. I guess finding out the murder weapon would be pretty significant, so let's start. Mario's cause of death in the Monokuma file clearly said that he was stabbed to death, right? That means any weapon with a blade on it could be considered the murder weapon, correct? Well, that sounds about right, but there were so many weapons in the kitchen that could have been used. There were a pair of scissors at the crime scene. Those had blades in them. That was probably the weapon. No, that's wrong. Well, yes, that does make sense, Cricket. There were a few other things that I think that could have been the murder weapon that weren't the scissors. Thinking about it, when we found the scissors, there was blood on it. However, the blood was more on the handle of it, not the actual blade itself. That's exactly what I was getting to. There's no way that the scissors could have been the murder weapon, because they couldn't have induced the stabbing at all. How are we so quick to believe that? It's not like the culprit could have just washed out the blood at all. Well, yes, that's true. There is another thing that I think probably could have been used instead, which was the knife that we found right next to Mario's body. So in other words, that means we figured out the murder weapon? That it was the knife that was found right next to Mario's body? Well, it's not like there's many other options there. The only other thing that was there were the scissors, but as Saroba and Kik said, there were blood on the handles of it, so I guess it can't be that. It must have been the murder weapon, must have been the knife. As a matter of fact, I actually would like to bring something up to everyone that does concern the knife, so yes, it is relevant to what we're talking about right now. And what would that be exactly? Well, as you all know, I've taken the duty upon myself to make all of our meals for everyone, along with a few other people. However, the day just before Mario's murder, I did notice that one of the kitchen knives went missing. That probably means the culprit took the knife from the kitchen. Hold on. Who's to say that the culprit isn't the people who were making all of our meals and such? They were the people who had the most proximity in the kitchen and they know the layout like the back of their hand. Wait a minute, why am I being accused all of a sudden? Yeah, what the hell is that about? Well, ladies, I'm just saying, I think it's pretty obvious. One of the culprits would have to be people who have been making all of our meals for us, right? Not to be that guy, but Melody does have a fair point. Unless we have any other evidence that proves that one of the people who have been making our meals for us are innocent, so far it seems the best conclusion. Hold on. I think there's probably one simple explanation that us two can explain why both Xavier and Zelda would be innocent. Oh yeah, and why is that, Kix? Monokuma, I have a question that concerns the body discovery announcement. I'm not usually supposed to be helping with trials, but I guess I'll throw you a bone just for this one simple question. Since it'll play into the other trials, it'll probably happen. Hey, don't encourage this to happen again. I'll let you in on one simple rule. The body discovery announcement only plays when 3 people have discovered the body, not including the murderer. So technically the first person to actually see the body was in fact Mario's killer, but since he actually did the deed, all the other innocents who found him, that are up to 3, are not the culprit. See, Melody? Oh, I guess you win, huh? Oh well. Alright, well now that we've figured out what the murder weapon was, I just have one question. And what's that, Monty? What the hell were the scissors even there for? Right, didn't you guys say that the scissors had blood on their handle and not on the actual blade itself? That's exactly what me and Saroba saw. It clearly had a hand in this murder. How does it have a play in it? I'm not exactly sure. How the scissors had a play in this murder? I think I have an idea about it, but let's just see what everyone else says. The scissors on the crime scene clearly had blood on their handle, but then what the hell were they used for? That's what we need to figure out. Well, for starters, we know it wasn't the cause of him being stabbed since there was no blood on the blades, and we already established that it was the kitchen knife. Is it not crazy to assume that, they just rubbed the blood all over the handle to make it seem like a red herring? I highly doubt that. Most likely that the culprit must have bashed in Mario's head. Wasn't there a huge, gash all over his forehead or whatever? I agree with that. Actually, Tentamon is perfectly right. In the Monokuma file, it stated that Mario had a huge gash all over the top of his head. There was a lot of blood, and that most likely came from the handle of the scissors. But then where the hell did the culprit even get the scissors in the first place? Oh, I can actually provide help with that one. Oh yeah? Like what, artist, girl? Well, there were about 2 pairs of scissors in the garden room. However, the day of the murder, when I went to go investigate there, one of the pairs was missing. And the other pair was the one Saroba and Cricket found in the kitchen. So that means that the culprit most likely gathered the scissors from the garden and brought them all the way to the kitchen? How the hell would the culprit be able to hide the scissors somewhere? Given how the culprit killed Mario during the nighttime, it's not exactly a possibility that isn't, able to be done. Circus Baby's right. If the culprit was trying to get all the weapons from point A to point B, well, specifically the garden scissors, it must have not really been that hard. But wouldn't it still be a long walk from the garden area to the kitchen anyways? It's still a huge possibility that the culprit could have been seen by any one of us with the garden scissors in hand as they were walking to the kitchen. And if somebody saw the culprit, they sure as hell should just say something right now so we can all get out of here. Yeah, alright, so I'm gonna take the silence as nobody knows or nobody saw the culprit as they were walking, which, I'm gonna be fully honest, I don't think they walked to the kitchen. Wait, Vulpix, what do you mean by that? Actually, I do agree with Vulpix. Because you should know, we literally investigated it. How did the culprit get from point A to point B so fast? I guess we'll figure that out next, huh? So how did the culprit get exactly from the garden to the kitchen, to the point where nobody could see them? Apparently they couldn't have walked, since it would have been way too obvious for them, because apparently they would have been seen way too quickly. But even then, nobody said that they saw anything, so how are we even sure that they just walked? Well, there's one piece of evidence to prove it. I got it! And what would that be exactly? During the investigation, I noticed that there were a few vents that were missing completely. That or they were just on the floor, leaving some vents to be open for anyone to crawl in. Hold on, you can tell me that you think a culprit crawled through the vents? Are you even, that stupid? What? Melody, what are you talking about? I'm just saying, I don't think it's possible at all that anyone could have opened the vents, let alone crawled through them. And I'll make you know it right here, right now. You will be dealt with. Ah! Ow. Ow! Hey, where the hell are we? That's a good question. Hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Welcome, you two, to your own little debate room. As you can see, took these 2 pencils. Okay. Now what? Well, you're gonna argue your point to each other, and whichever one wins. And that's the point that will be made at the trial. I like to call this one the rebuttal showdown. Now come on, rebuttal each other, showdown, chop chop. Ugh. Hey, I'm just saying it's simply impossible that the culprit could have opened the vents in the first place. Hold on. I think it's possible. It's the only way for the culprit to actually make it through to the garden to the kitchen in a neat process. Oh yeah? Do you have any evidence of this claim? Actually, I do. Hey, hold on. The evidence is in what Glaceon said. Oh, yeah. Maybe can we not? Ah! Sorry, Melody, but the more I think about it, the more this theory makes perfect sense. If you're so right about this perfect theory, what about it actually makes sense? Not to mention Glaceon herself said that she went up during the nighttime and, well, she heard rustling near the vents. Or at least near, like, the ceiling. I can confirm that. Hold on a minute. Glaceon, you attended the girls' sleepover, right? Yeah, I did. What about it? And you left during the night? Well, I went back. Then who said that you aren't the culprit? You know, the more I think about it, it does make sense. Whoa. Hold on. You're seriously all accusing me right now?
To be fair, it does make sense. Other than, like, 2 girls that didn't show up at the sleepover to our knowledge. Glaceon, you did say you left the girls' sleepover when everyone was sleeping, right?
So what the hell does that matter? That doesn't mean I'm the culprit. It is still incredibly suspicious.
Yeah, honestly, I agree.
Are we really positive we can already jump the gun and assume it's Glaceon? We still have a lot more stuff to cover in this trial, even if she was out of the room. We don't even know how long she was out for. Well, when me and Zelda first woke up, Glaceon was still in the room, so obviously she wasn't out for that long. Yeah, because I didn't go back to my room. After I got what I needed, I immediately went back to the girls' sleepover room. I mean, seriously, there has to be a way I can be defended here, right? Well, I'm not exactly sure Glaceon isn't the culprit. I think there's some evidence to prove that she is probably the most safest person out here.
All the evidence lines up. It's pretty obvious Glaceon's the culprit.
If she left the girls' sleepover, we don't know how long she was out there for. Everyone was asleep. So there's no actual eyewitness to see if she did enter back. However, when I woke up, me and Circus Baby both found her asleep. There has to be some sort of evidence to prove that I didn't do anything. I'm innocent here. Exactly. She had all the time in the world to do it. That means it must be Glaceon. No, that's wrong. Hold on, Monty. There's something wrong with that. And how the hell is that so? It makes the most sense. We have no idea when the hell she came back. Well, using Glaceon's testimony, I think I can actually pinpoint the time fairly well. If Mario died around 11:31, then that would mean that Glaceon probably left the room about 11:10 maybe? Hold on, how are we so sure of that actually? Well, according to Glaceon, when she left to go to her room to retrieve the blanket. Hey! Sorry, it's important to the case, Glaceon. Fine, get on with it. When she went to her room to go retrieve the blanket, she heard rustling noises up in, like, the ceiling or whatever, like, near the top of the, hallway. Yeah, it must have been the culprit leaving their room. That's exactly it, Foxy. And so, that means that the culprit probably went to the garden first. So the culprit made it out of their room using the ventilation systems at the school. And then they were crawling to the garden area as presumably just as Glaceon was leaving the girls' sleepover? And doesn't that mean none of the attendees of the girls' sleepover could be culprits? Well, yes, if we go off that logic, I'm still not done. Anyways, if we keep assuming that the culprit went to the garden first, took the scissors, they probably also got rid of the vents in the garden too. So, wait a minute. I have a question about if they got rid of the vents in the garden. And what's that? Where would the culprit have hid, the vent grates? I mean, I know Vividra investigated there, that's pretty obvious, but you guys didn't mention anything about a vent grate.
Now that I think about it, Cricket does make a good point. You never found a vent grate anywhere in the garden.
And there's no way the culprit could have hid it anywhere. I looked top to bottom in there.
So I guess our next discussion is where the vents could have been hidden?
Well, I believe that's the most pressing issue as of now.
Alright then.
Where could the culprit have hidden the vent grate in the garden? Well, it most likely probably wasn't in the garden. It was obviously in a different area in the school, but where exactly? That's still the one thing we don't have an answer to. Couldn't it have been the one that was lodged in the doorway of that classroom? I agree with that.
Actually, Vulpix is right. Vulpix, do you remember, that vent that you found inside that classroom? Monty, Foxy, you guys were there too.
Ah, that's right. It was right in the door of the classroom. The moment we opened it, it fell out.
And whoever did it lodged it so deep in that it just closed the door manually. If anything, the vent was already bent due to the door.
Well, then problem solved. We figured out where the garden vent grate was at. So then that means the culprit broke into the garden area, took the scissors, hopped back into the vent, went to the vent that leads to the kitchen, and, hold on. How did the culprit even lure Mario into the kitchen in the first place exactly?
The culprit lured Mario into the kitchen because... I got it! The culprit lured Mario into the kitchen because of the note.
Wait. There was a note? A note at the crime scene? The culprit probably wrote it themselves. That means we can figure out who killed Mario. Actually, not to be the bearer of bad news, but I was the one who found the note, and unfortunately, the culprit seemed to have scratched their name out of the note and left it there for evidence.
How does someone just leave out evidence, not even throw it away? I don't know, maybe they were in a hurry. It was probably the adrenaline after killing someone.
Now, where does this get us? I mean, we know that the culprit can't be any of the girls who attended the sleepover. Shouldn't we be trying to figure out alibis and such? Actually, Zelda's really right. I mean, we've been figuring out all this stuff, and we can figure out who's innocent, at least some of us.
Right. The girls who attended the girls' sleepover were...
I got it!
all of the girls who attended the sleepover. Glaceon, Vividria, Connie, Zelda, Circus Baby, and Vulpix. Are there any guys who can suss out as not being the culprit here?
Is there even a way to confirm who was awake and who wasn't at the time? Seriously, Mario was murdered during the nighttime.
We would have to piece through all the clues that we all found together.
Hold on. How are we sure that the culprit isn't either Melody or Saroba? They didn't attend the girls' sleepover, so clearly they're the prime suspects out of all the girls.
Seriously, Monty? What the hell is with you and blaming all the girls here? You're seriously accusing me of being the culprit? Do you know how stupid you sound? As much as I don't wish to agree with him, Monty doesn't get their point. Melody, you have been on the outskirts of everyone for quite some time. It would make sense that you would go into murder. Because you don't trust any of us, and Saroba, we have no idea what you were doing this night. Just because I've been untrusting of all of you does not mean I'm the culprit.
Well, even then, you still have no alibi, so it's kind of hard to trust you.
And unlike her, I actually do have an alibi. Well, how can we confirm that your alibi is actually true and you're not just making it up?
Because I, myself, can confirm Saroba's alibi.
How? Saroba was in my room for about maybe 2 hours or so. She left around 11:30, which means that if we're going off the basis that the culprit unscrewed all the vents during or just before the murder, she would have no time to actually commit it, right?
Wait, you stayed in each other's rooms? Oh wow.
It's certainly not like that, you little creep.
Jeez. Sorry. Total stranger. A girl and a guy are just staying in the same room. The bedroom, mind you, for like 2 hours.
Well, anyways, now that we know it isn't Saroba, Melody, I think it's best if you start talking, because so far, you seem like the most likely suspect. Great. Just great. Isn't that wonderful, huh? Listen, I know it's fishy, but when I tell you, I didn't leave my room the entire time when you all went to bed. I simply put straight in my room and I went to sleep. That's simple. How the hell are we supposed to believe that? Melody's probably just the culprit. At this point, why don't we just vote? It's a lost cause. Well, absolutely not. We are not voting right now. If we're all in agreement to vote for Melody, let's just vote now. Ooh boy, votes. Are we voting? Hold on. No. We are not voting yet. And why not? Melody's the perfect prime suspect. I think it's best if we don't vote either. Well, yes, Melody's our prime suspect right now. We don't have enough evidence to truly prove she's the culprit. Fine. All right, Melody, get to talking. Come on now. I already told all of you everything. The moment I walked into my room, I laid in my bed, and boom, I went to sleep. Is that what you all wanted to hear? Because that's what happened.
Yeah, like that's a believable story.
Oh, please. It's more believable than whatever the bullshit you all spewed out for defending Glaceon and Saroba and all that people. At least we have evidence behind our claims. All we have to go off is just your word. And, well, newsflash, Melody, we don't really have a reason to be trusting of you. It's getting out of hand. I have to stop this. I know Melody's hiding something, but is she really the culprit? Or there has to be some sort of evidence to prove otherwise. All Melody is saying is just baseless words. We have no evidence to prove if she's right or wrong. So is this it? Are we really just at a dead end? Unless Melody speaks up, we really have nothing else to go off of. There must be some sort of other evidence to prove that, well, there's something to go off here. Whether it be Melody being shady and the culprit or someone else. I agree with that. Hold on, Saroba, you're right. I think there's just some little piece of evidence that can prove that Melody is innocent here. Finally, someone's being useful in this trial. I'm gonna ignore what you just said. Actually, I think I know what Kix is talking about. It's the vents, right? The vent grates? What about them is so strange? Notice something. And Tails is right. All the vent grates where the little, bolts go to bolt them into the wall, they were all, scratched out or clawed out with something. And I hate to break it to all of you, but I don't have claws, so I couldn't do that. Then that just means we're at square one again. If everyone's basically innocent at this point, what's even the point of trying? We're all gonna die here. Well, no, actually. Anything but that, Vividra. It actually limits our pool of suspects down to a smaller number. How exactly?
Well, taking into account of all the people here, it clearly can't be any of the humans, and it probably isn't, people with nubs for hands, so example, Circus Baby.
Or Shy Guy, I guess. And by that logic, that limits our suspects down to... That's it. And the best part about all of this, the culprit can't be Saroba, because, well, she already has an alibi. Our killers are listed down to 3. Foxy, Tentamon, and Monty.
Am I seriously being accused right now because I have claws?
I should really be innocent here. I only have, 2 slash claw things. I can't really do much with this, too. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean you're automatically innocent, That just makes it harder for you to do it, but it can still be done. You know what? Yeah, you make a very, very fair point there.
I think I know who the culprit is.
How did you immediately come to that conclusion? Or would you be willing to share with all of us? Well, there's no alibis to go off of, since most of everyone was asleep except for Mario and the culprit. and I guess some of the girls to the sleepover, but we already ruled all of them out as being innocent. The only way for the culprit to be the culprit is just looking at all of the facts and the evidence. And I think I have a fairly good theory of who or how the scissors were used in this case as well. Kicks. All you have to do is just think of everything that's happened within this case. Every minute detail and every minuscule detail. That'll help us. And it'll help you figure out who it is too, just like me. Well, I just have to say it's not me, it's not me, it's not me. So, if you accuse me, I'm just gonna say it's not me, 'cause it's not me.
Well, it's not me either, dude. Sure as hell wasn't me. I don't know why I'm being accused now.
But the culprit is. How the scissors were being used in this case? Culprit. I think I know what Tess is talking about. Doop-doop, 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 doop-doop.
It has to be you.
Monty, you're the culprit of Mario.
Oh, you're being serious. What the hell, dude?
Monty's the culprit?
What? How is that possible? So the culprit, it's truly Monty? Kix is right. It is Monty. Huh? How do you know that? Because I...
Shut the hell up, Melody.
Monty, what's gotten into you?
Being accused of killing Mario, and you expect me to act normal?
I'm sorry. Melody, if you could explain how Monty is the culprit, that'd be great. I didn't think I'd be expecting that question from you, Tails, since you already knew what happened. But I'll relay my information. I saw Monty write the note he gave to Mario. Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh wow. That's... Oh my god. What? Oh wow. The note? You saw him write the note I found during the investigation. Yeah, I did watch him do it. It was about maybe 10, just after Monokuma gave the nighttime announcement. I decided to not go to bed because, well, I don't want to listen to him. Wow, how rude. And so I found him writing the note, and, well, one thing led to another. I decided to leave him alone. I didn't want to creep up on him. I didn't know what he was planning exactly, but I assumed the note wouldn't be great news.
You're not seriously believing what that idiot is saying, right?
Well, to be fair, it's clear Melody's innocent. I mean, her word is a little bit strange to get around, but she seems to be telling the truth. Not to mention, it's pretty obvious Monty's the culprit if you look at a few details.
What do you mean obvious? I'm not the culprit. Are you stupid, Tails?
Well, your reaction right now, even when I haven't given any details of how I think you're the culprit, is one, a fairly good tell, but also not to mention, the fact is that you used scissors to kill Mario because you threw it at him.
Okay, I'm a little lost here. How the hell does, him apparently throwing the scissors mean anything to do with this case?
I know what Tails is talking about. It goes back to his ultimate talent, him being the ultimate golfer. Obviously, he has good arm strength. He needs a good swing, does he not?
What the hell does that have to do with it fucking anything? You have no idea if I think the scissors or not.
Even then, you would still need good arm strength to blunt force Mario into death. Not to mention, aside from you, Monty, the only other people here who are actually that strong to do that such are me, Foxy, maybe, Cricket, and you.
Then why the hell is Foxy not being accused, huh? Huh?
Yar, I am.
Well, simple. It goes back to a lot of things to trial. You know, like grabbing the scissors, writing that note, someone just seeing you write the note, and then eventually meeting up with Mario, throwing the scissors right at his forehead, killing him instantly. I mean, you are the ultimate golfer, right? You would have to have a pretty good arm strength to begin with, but let alone throwing. You've been swinging things your whole life. Who's to say throwing wouldn't be that hard? There is a very fucking big difference when it comes to swinging and throwing, you idiot!
Even then, the way you're acting right now is pretty irrational. All we did are accusing you, and you can't keep a simple level head? Clear you're guilty.
You expect me to be rational and keep a fucking level head when I'm being accused of murder when all of our lives are on the fucking line, Vulpix? Do you really think I am freaking out right now just because I don't want to be accused of killing someone? Well, I'm just saying, many people have been accused, but they haven't been acting the way that you have. It's pretty obvious you're throwing a tantrum right now to distract the fact that you did murder Mario.
No, the hell I didn't. I didn't murder Mario. Why the hell is no one listening to me?
It's simple. You don't have enough evidence to prove that you didn't do it. If anything, more evidence is stacked against you, Monty.
Oh, really? If I'm so guilty, prove it. Prove it, huh? Prove it. Currently, Monty's our prime suspect here.
Yet there's evidence to prove that I didn't do anything.
And if you're so right, then why don't you share some evidence that proves you're innocent, huh?
But then if Monty's right, then we would just be at square one, wouldn't we not?
Then what evidence would Monty even have to use against us, huh?
The evidence is clear. It's literally just because of time. I would have had no time to actually do anything in this murder. All of this is just a stupid conspiracy.
No, that's wrong. Hold on, Monty. Something that you said isn't right. If anything, you probably have the most time out of anyone. How the hell do you know that, huh? Well, yes, Mario and Foxy took you to your own bedroom. That was just about before Monokuma did the nighttime announcement. And if anything, most of us all went to bed before the Monokuma nighttime announcement. Exactly. And even then, you would have had enough time to write the note. And the reason why we never found a vent grate to someone's room is because it was in yours. It was because it was in your room, and that's the banging that Glaceon heard. It was you crawling through the vents.
And furthermore, Melody, you didn't see me write shit.
Oh, really? Says who?
Because if I was stuck in my room the entire time, how the hell would you know if I wrote the note or not?
Oh, no, I didn't really see you write the note. I was lying. What? Oops.
Wow, Melody lies again. What a shocker.
Well, I really don't see the point in lying about watching him write the note. However, I think it's actually helpful that she lied, no? And, why would that be the case, Vulpix? Because it just proves another thing. The more we go on, Monty starts to get more suspicious. Not to mention Monty starts to get more mad. Melody knows how to push people's buttons, and if she knew how to push the right button to say that she saw him write the note, it would have started blowing up. Mainly because if he was stuck in his room all the time to write the note and also get rid of the vent in his room, then she would have never been able to see him anyways. Then Melody, why even lie about that? It's pointless. Like Vulpix said, I really have no reason to do it, but I knew that Monty was gonna get mad eventually. Not to mention with Kicks and Tails saying that they already knew who the culprit was. I probably already knew it anyway, so it was just a surefire guess. So with all of this in order, does this mean Monty is really the culprit of Mario's murder?
I'm not the culprit. I don't know how many times I need to tell all of you, but I'm not. And if you think you're gonna accuse me or vote for me, I'm not going down without a fight.
Monty, you're wasting everyone's time. So at this point, just admit you did it.
No, I'm not gonna admit I did it. I'm not gonna admit I just murdered Mario. Do you think anyone's gonna admit that? Because guess what? Newsflash, I didn't do it.
How the hell am I the culprit, huh? I want answers, damn it! It's simple. Your claws are one of the biggest giveaways. You could have scratched out the vents with ease. Yeah, that seems about right. I'm convinced. Same. Then how the hell would I have written the note? Huh? Apparently Melody saw me, but she was a fucking liar about it. That makes no sense. It's easy. When you were in your room alone, when Mario and Foxy escorted you there, that's when you had the perfect time to write the note. You were alone. Sorry, matey. Makes the most sense out of here. I agree! Who's to say that it wasn't any of the girls, huh? Are we sure it still wasn't Saroba? Already went over this. Most of the girls have a clear alibi, including Saroba. I truly pity you. Wow, we can't believe you stooped that low. Huh? If I'm the culprit, how would I have killed Mario then, huh? Even with a knife, how the hell do you know that the scissors were exactly involved? Your ultimate talent, ultimate golfer, right? You would have had the perfect chance to throw it straight at Mario with your perfect aim, hit him upside the head perfectly with your strength, and kill him dead. But then again, this was a different murder weapon, so I don't know why you thought that out. Well, sorry about it, dude. Yeah, I'm pretty convinced. Wait, what? No. No! They're all convinced. You, Monty, you're the killer. No. No! Well, Monty, it's useless. Give up. You're the culprit. Fine. You know what? I am the killer. So what? Okay, because I think it's time to figure out how this was done one last time. I'll go everything just one last time so everyone needs to make sure on all the details and you're sure it's Monty. This is the truth of the case. This case began just the night when Foxy and Mario both led our culprit to their room. There's nothing to do. Presumably due to the motive videos and how she planned to murder someone, specifically Mario. Then our culprit wrote Mario a note that they were going to give him the moment they passed by his room in the fence. Next thing our culprit had to do was scratch out the vent grates that were blocking them from the room exit. Once open, they were inside the vents. Just as Mario was sleeping, our culprit passed by his room with the note. He then slipped the note from the vent and woke Mario up. He saw the note and read it. Given how the culprit needlessly said that they had an escape plan, Mario probably took it as a way to escape and help everyone. Unbeknownst to our culprit, Glaceon was actually out of the girl's sleepover and going to her room when she heard the noises. Eventually, the culprit made their way into the garden using the vents. And they made their way to the scissors and grabbed one of them for their plan. Fortunately for Mario, he was already making his way to the kitchen. The culprit eventually made it to the kitchen and hid the scissors, just as Mario arrived. The culprit took Mario away for their plan, I'm assuming, and made their way over to the cafe. That's where they grabbed the murder weapon. Mario probably thought that this was going to be used for their plan to escape, seeing how that's what was put on the note. But unfortunately for Mario, stabbed Mario, and then shot him once again. They're trying to make a getaway. With him, our culprit wouldn't allow that. There's the garden scissors at Mario, square right in the forehead. So Mario died right there, but our culprit wasn't done. They pushed Mario onto the floor where we originally found him. This is the knife down there too, just for good measure. They went to plant it back when Mario was on the floor too. Next they had to dispose of the note, which they were able to scratch out the name with the scissors probably. They tried to hide the note in the kitchen, and that's when they made their escape. Thanks to the broken vent, they eventually made their escape back into the vents. When our culprit made it back into the garden, they realized they couldn't just leave the vent grate out sitting. So our culprit made it to one of the hallways with the classrooms in them, opened one of the doors, and stuck the vent right inside of it. And that's when they made their escape back into the garden area. Back up in the vents, the culprit made it back into their room and went to bed. And that's how you murdered Mario. Isn't that right? Monty, the ultimate golfer. That's the truth. So, Monty, did I get anything wrong? You got it correct. Every last detail.
So that means that Monty's really the killer?
You know, I don't really know how I feel about being very, very close to him. Like a step away close. Can we start the voting now?
How does the voting even work in the first place?
Hoo. Is this ready for the votes, I hear? Now then, allow me to explain how the votes will work. You will each get a small tablet that will appear before you. You will all have to vote for who you think is the correct culprit. Now then, will you make the, correct choice or the dreadfully wrong one? Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo! You all got it correct. The killer of Mario the Ultimate Plumber is Monty, the Ultimate Golfer. You all got it right. The votes came out to about 14 votes Monty, 1 vote for Melody.
Wow, real classy, Monty.
You want to talk about class, Melody? You lied just so you can get yourself out of trouble.
The lie was helpful, was it not? Maybe we should stop arguing with the dude who's on death row at this point. I agree. And Monty, I have a question just for you.
Yeah? And what would that be, Saroba, since you're just so smart?
What exactly is the point of killing Mario? Why'd you even pick him as your victim? What the hell is the point of even killing someone? Why'd you do it?
So you wanna know why I did it, huh? Wanna know why? It's because of those stupid videos Monokuma showed us all.
I mean, those motive videos we all got? To be offensive, but honestly, that's kind of a weak cause for killing at this point. We all saw horrible videos about all of our home lives, and you think you can just go ahead and murder someone? Please, what's the point in scolding me, Circus Baby? You already all found out that I killed him. That still doesn't give you an excuse, jackass. Damn, can everyone just get off me? For like 2 seconds? You murdered someone, Monty, and you expect us just to not care? You murdered a dude who was probably innocent and has nothing to do with any of this. He just wanted to go back home like the rest of us, and you think that you have the right to kill someone just because you want to go home and see what happened to the people in your video? We all want to do that, but none of us drove to murder.
Yeah, Cricket's right, matey. We all saw horrible things. But what did you see that was apparently so bad?
I saw my friends. All of 4 of them. My bandmates.
You were in a band?
Yes, I was. I played golf from a young age, but I also was in a band, and those guys were my best friends all throughout my entire life. I needed to know what happened to them. I needed to know if they were okay. I wanted to see what the outside world looked like. In those videos, all we saw was just a disheveled area, right? With our friends presumably dead or alive. I wanted to know what happened to them.
You were to sacrifice 15 people just because you wanted to see your friends?
I'd have done it too if you were me, dude.
I hate to break it to you, Monty, and most of us also have family or friends who are in danger. You're not the only one.
Oh, who cares? It's pointless now. I'm never gonna get out of here.
That's right, because it's punishment time! Wait, what? No. No. Whipped up quite the special execution for our first culprit, Monty the Ultimate Golfer. So get ready, students. It's punishment time! What an extreme execution. What did you all think? Did you like it? How about first time for your first trial? You all completed it. Yay!
I think I'm gonna be sick.
You just killed him. Like that.
Those are the rules, silly. You don't want a murderer running around you, don't you? Well, that's the end of this trial. I'll be making my grand exit. I will probably suggest all you go to bed. Bye-bye. Boing.
It's like this is getting real, huh?
At least everyone now knows the consequences of what will happen if we commit a murder. That could be any of us. Either 15 of us in one fell swoop or just one.
I think it's best if we listen to Monokuma and go to bed. I don't want to be around here anymore.
Right. I'll be seeing you all later, I guess.
Eventually, everyone left the trial room, and then I did myself. I went back to my room and I went to bed. Is this what my new life is like now? There used to be 16 of us, but now there's only 15. Will that number change in the next coming days? No, it can't. Everyone saw what happened back there. Everyone saw what happened to Monty. If anyone decides to commit a murder and they're not careful, that'd be happening to them. What if we got it wrong? Who knows what would happen to us? All I want to do is just go home, but I can't fall into despair like him. I need to persevere. I need to survive. Now.
Dear Mastermind, you wanted to speak to me? I sure did, Monokuma. I was delightfully impressed with the trial and execution. Oh, you liked it? Goody. I was saving the best for first. I must say, the grinder in the hole was something I didn't expect from you. Now then, we must move on to bigger and better things, of course. Like what? Well, we must do something to impress the others. I need you to speak to the traitor. They'll probably have a better idea than I do. Now then, I'll be off to bed. We don't want the others to get suspicious now, do we? Of course, of course. I'll call the traitor and we'll figure things out. Thank you, Monokuma. I must say, you're a lot more useful than the others expected. And the way I described it, I thought I would be the one doing all the work here. Apparently you've been a help. Have you and Seven been talking shit about me? No, just one. Wow, rude. Oh, traitor that I can't say the name of because of plot reasons. Where are you? I have made it. What do you want to talk about? The mastermind said that you should have some pretty good ideas of what to do next for the next trial. Oh, I have many ideas. Many I think you'll love. Perfect, splendid ideas. But I'm surprised you even said yes to this proposition to be a traitor in the first place. I wouldn't say no to an opportunity. And I like that in a traitor. Although you know the consequences, don't you? I do. And I'm happy to go with them.